This is a very interesting time for Nintendo and their partners when it comes to what games are going to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch and what's going to be happening next for the system. And in this video, I'm going to be going over when we can see Astral Chain 2, as that's a highly requested game that a lot of you guys want me to talk about. Now, this week marks the 4-year anniversary of the original Astral Chain on the Nintendo Switch. It launched on August 30th, 2019 to critical acclaim and also success, selling over 1.33 million units on the Nintendo Switch and being one of Platinum Games' best-selling titles of all time. And in this video, we're going to break down everything that's been said about Astral Chain 2, the history, what's going on, and kind of get down to the bottom of when this game is going to be coming out. Before we get into that, guys, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video on PlayerEssence. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. And let's go ahead and jump right into it here, guys, and we're going to talk about Astral Chain. This is the really cool action RPG from Platinum Games. It's published by Nintendo, and the director is Mr. Takahisa Tura. You guys might know him from Nier Automata fame, where he directed a brilliant game and brought Platinum Games out from the dark place they were in at that time to, one, stay alive, but also two, have a hit and reinstall confidence in what Platinum Games is all about. Now, when it comes to Astral Chain 2 and what's going on with this game, Mr. Takahisa Tura did confirm back in 2021 to VGC that they were working on a new game. Now remember, Platinum Games with Astral Chain, they had already had a hot start to the game. They knew that the game was selling better than what they usually do, so they're probably thinking pretty confident about working on the next thing. They also discussed in interviews that they do have roughly in their mind a trilogy planned out for what they want to do with the story. And if you've played Astral Chain, you can clearly tell that the game is set up for more installments story wise. Now, there was some confusion over the Astral Chain IP and what was going on with it. Was it co-owned with Platinum Games and Nintendo? That's what Platinum originally said, but now Nintendo is the sole owner of the IP, so any Astral Chain related games are going to be Nintendo exclusives unless Nintendo wants to put it on something else. Now, last year, Mr. Tura-san did share a nice message celebrating the 3rd anniversary and giving away a signed Japanese collector's edition. So once again, it's just more promotion, it's more to put the game in the spotlight, it's kind of to get people still talking about Astral Chain. 3 years later, they're still doing some contests and giveaways and talking about the game. Clearly, they want the mind share of Astral Chain to be out there, and there's more examples of this as well throughout the years. Now, we also know that Hideki Kamiya officially tweeted out Astral Chain 2 on his Twitter account back on August 29th, 2020, before he quickly deleted it. And yes, it was his actual Twitter account. Now, I'm blocked from Hideki Kamiya, and I never even spoke with him, but I am blocked, but we do have the screen grabs of that. Now, there's a couple different things that this could mean. One, it could be that they're teasing a new entry in the series. It's a year afterwards. Obviously, it's been a success. We know that the game sold over 1 million units by the end of 2019, so maybe they say, okay, let's go, let's get it ready, and they're already teasing something. But he could also be basically paying his respects to the 1-year anniversary to the game, because it was on August 29th. The game pretty much launched on August 29th in Japan, August 30th with everywhere else. So it seems like it could have just been like a cool anniversary shout out and kind of just to hype up the fans a little bit, get them excited or get them talking about Astral Chain. Because if you tweet out there from Hideki Kamiya, Platinum Games on Twitter, Astral Chain 2, that's going to get a lot of impressions. That's going to get a lot of people who maybe didn't have a Switch before but have a Switch down. What's Astral Chain? What is he talking about? And it's going to get them to look into it. So it could have been a viral marketing attempt from Hideki Kamiya in order for more people just to talk about Astral Chain by tweeting out Astral Chain 2, then deleting it, because then when you delete it, then more people pick up, wait a minute, why did he delete it? That means it's real. And then people will look into playing the original Astral Chain. So it could have been that as well. So that's what I'm guessing it was, but I'm guessing there is a hint of truth when it comes to what they're doing with Astral Chain 2, and then probably getting the initial plans of what they want to do with this game, how it's going to work, some of the features, just planning out what it will be for Astral Chain 2, because you have to be ready. You always have to be ready, especially with an IP that sells 1.33 million units. There is opportunity there to grow it even into a bigger franchise and get more people to play the game and make a ton of money in the process. Now, at this point, if you're looking at it, when it comes to when is Astral Chain 2 coming, developers probably have late Switch games ready, but Nintendo probably advised them to hold back for the next generation Switch system. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because this was suggested to Ubisoft for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, but they ignored it. Now, the Ubisoft president did state they will update the game for the next Nintendo system. So what does that exchange mean? Which I'm sure Nintendo probably didn't want them to reveal that type of information. But essentially, if Nintendo wanted Ubisoft to hold back Mario plus Rabbids for the next system, that probably means the next system is somewhat close. Now, that game released in 2022, so that next system is probably coming within 2 years of that date, so that would target a 2024 release. Now, if Astral Chain started development and started really getting going in 2020, around what Hideki Kamiya said from Platinum Games in 2020 or so, then I would guess Nintendo is probably advising them, and since they own the IP, is saying, you know what, probably want to wait on that one and get it on the next system, because they advised that to Ubisoft, and that was a 2022 game for them after multiple years of development. So I don't think that Astral Chain 2 is going to be a launch game or anything like that, and I think that would be the worst thing for the game to be, because Nintendo probably has a big Mario game, 3D Mario, and some huge first-party titles lined up for the first number of months of the Nintendo Switch 2, very similar to how they had with the original Nintendo Switch, with big games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, and Splatoon, all within the first number of months. So I think that would be a bad spot for a sequel to a Switch game. What they should probably do, which is what I think they're going to do, is wait a little bit. Wait a little bit, get the game ready, make sure it's all set and optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2, and then release it within the first 2 years of the Switch 2's launch. So maybe we see the game in 2026. So it could still be a number of years at this point, but that's probably the best option for the game if it's not going to be a cross-gen game. Now, if it's a cross-gen game, as if there is a Switch version of this game that is in development, then obviously you can release that sooner. You can release it within the first number of months of the Switch 2 and then just have it on Switch and Switch 2, very similar to how Microsoft and Sony also released multiple different games on PS4 and PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. If Nintendo was doing something like that, and even better with a smart delivery type of system, I think that would probably be pretty cool, and they can get it in within the first number of months of the Switch 2's launch if it's ready to go. But I definitely think Nintendo's telling them to kind of hold back a little bit. Let's wait, let's see where everything's gonna play out, and then we can launch this game on maybe even a bigger install base, and also give some people that have the Switch 2 something else to play. It gets better fidelity, it gets better graphics, it's gonna look better. So I think that could be an option as well. Now, for me personally, Astral Chain is one of the most underrated games of all time. I think that that game has so much potential, especially within the story developments, to become a huge 90+ rated game. Heck, I think that the original Astral Chain should have got a 90+ rated Metacritic must-play game. It's an 87, and that's one of the best 87 rated games that I've ever played in my life. But at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the rating, it's about how you connect with the game. And the game has so many different aspects to it that make it interesting to talk about, which is why you guys continuously ask me about Astral Chain and what we could see with the game. Now, updates and improvements, these are things that also are very important, and I think that you guys are probably going to be interested in what I think they should do for the next game. Well, one, better story is always something that you can improve upon. It doesn't matter if you're a Nintendo first party game like Zelda or a game like Astral Chain, having a better story is always something, so they can improve upon that. I think that having it to where you have more legions at your disposal. So in the original game, you have 5 and they're very good and you can switch between them and it's a ton of fun. So increasing that amount, maybe even doubling it, or having it to where each legion can transform into a secondary form, that would really expand the combo potential, the gameplay opportunities, and what you do in the game. So I would love to see something like that as well. 60 frames per second is something that the original game didn't have, and it still plays really good. It's still a really good game with stable frame rates for the most part throughout the whole game. Your inputs come out, it feels smooth to play, but having it at 60 frames per second would just take it once again to another level natively on Nintendo hardware, especially being able to play that portable anywhere that you want. So that's something as well that would be really cool if they can get for the next game. And one more thing that I think that would be dope here is expanding the co-op, because they did have a little basic type of co-op mode where someone can control the legion and then you can control the character. But if they actually had some real local co-op missions or even online co-op missions where you can have 2 people at the same time, they're fighting and having fun and doing specific missions in order to earn rewards that can be transferred back into the main game, like extra police missions or something like that, I think that would be really cool. It's actually something that Platinum Games has done before with Bayonetta 2. That game has online multiplayer and you can take your halos and certain things and it transfers back over to the main game to where you can unlock stuff. So I think that would be pretty cool if they did something like that in Astral Chain 2. It's not needed, it's not something that's required, and heck, even if it was local, it would be better than nothing at all. But I just think it would add a nice little wrinkle into the gameplay flow of what they're doing there. Obviously, having better controls, having smoother movements, having more levels, all of these things can add to the experience that's already incredible in Astral Chain. I was replaying the game again for like my 3rd or 4th time, and I was just saying, oh my gosh, there's so many cool things that this game does that we still don't see from any other franchise on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm hoping that some of these improvements, and of course a lot of improvements that they want to bring to the table, do come over to the next Astral Chain game. So what do you guys think about this overall when it comes to Astral Chain 2, when we could see it, what's going down with it, what improvements you'd like to see? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out some of our other videos that we've done on Astral Chain, Bayonetta, Xenoblade Chronicles, and more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.